Lehurutshe in the Northwest Province is one of the areas that played a critical role in the struggle that the ANC and other liberation struggle parties waged against the apartheid regime. SABC News reporter Sentleeng Lehihi is in Lehurutshe in the Northwest. Let's take you there now. Sentleeng, good morning. So just looking at the ANC's 113th anniversary, we of course are going across the country looking at some of the more auspicious places that stand out during that liberation struggle. Talk to us about Lehurutshe in the Northwest Province, please.
Good morning to you, Sakina, and our viewers. Indeed, many people say that the story of the liberation of South Africa cannot be told without actually reflecting on the contributions and subjugation suffered by the Lehurutshe people. The Lehurutshe people are just here flanked on the borderline of Botswana. They were not only the conductors of the liberation route that saw many struggle icons go into exile or actually join the trenches of the Umkhonto weSizwe, but they also were actually pivotal and quite important in showing, defiance to the apartheid government. Where we're standing now is a monument that is dedicated to many women who actually fought against past laws. They made their stance known right there by burning their passes. 200 of them were arrested in that demonstration. And the leading traditional leadership of Kgosi Mwilwa suffered greatly, being forced into exile. You understand that the contribution of this area is telling of quite a number of significant figures, including one of the figures who suffered quite tremendously while in exile, suffering from, the Paso bombing. One of those strategies that were actually implemented by the apartheid government to ensure that they try to actually, paralyze the efforts of black consciousness and the efforts of the Umkhonto weSizwe movements in the different trenches, including in Tanzania. But for a better understanding and context of the contribution of this area in the story of the liberation of South Africa, we're going to be speaking to the chairperson of the Provincial Veterans League, Ntate Moseki. Ntate Moseki, is enough being said about the contribution of the Lehurutshe in the liberation of this South African nation? And what more can be said to ensure that their story is not forgotten?
Sentleeng, good morning, and good morning to the Morning Live viewers. Let me take this opportunity just to firstly say to you the area where we stand. It was a convergence point of the 1957 Women's March, the area where we are. It is called Letlhogile. I think it's a very important area to articulate. It is in this area where the apartheid forces attacked our mothers who were marching against the past law, against the forceful removal of Kgosi Ramoseki, against all kinds of apartheid laws and colonial systems. This is where that brutal attack happened to our mothers. Having said so, the story of this area called Lehurutshe has not been told enough. And I think in the main, it is because the authors that write our history in the main are not informed about the key people who played a role here. You just made a reference to Kgosi Ramoseki. Kgosi Ramoseki was not just ordinary Kgosi, he was the Kgosi Kgolo. In other ways, in English term, he was the paramount Kgosi of the whole Lehurutshe, starting from here up to Supinstad and other areas. Kgosi Kgolo Ramoseki, we are told he ascended to the throne in 1932. At that point, he was 22 years old, and the story that we are told about him is that he never collaborated with the apartheid and the colonial system, which is why they actually made him a target to try and suppress the people of this area, and he refused to be subjected to those kind of conditions, which led to what you said earlier on, banishment of his, the throne and banishment to exile. Besides what Kgosi Ramoseki did, Kgosi Ramoseki, what he was, he also mobilized his brothers, namely Khosi Moswana in Mokola village. He mobilized Khosi Lekolwane in what is known as Braklakte, and Mokola is known as Leeuwfontein. He also mobilized his own brother in a village called Borakalalo here. The three of them suffered greatly under the apartheid and colonial regime, and Khosi Moswana was also banished to KwaZulu-Natal, what is called KwaZulu-Natal, for over 16 years. And that is because he was one of the key supporters of Kgosi Ramotshare and agitator against the apartheid laws.
A tale there that is reflecting of the unrelenting fight of the Lehurutshe. He's telling us there about, a core a movement led by Kgosi Mwiulwa, where he actually indeed ensured that he mobilizes those around this area to stand against the subjugation of the apartheid government. From us here in Lehurutshe, back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Sentleeng Lehihi.